Welcome to Dirshu Daf HaYomi Bahalacha. Today we're going to continue in Siman Daled, Dini Netilas Yadayim, a lengthy Siman which talks about washing one's hands in the morning, 23 Sifim. We began the words of the Mechaber in yesterday's Shiur. We're going to continue in the words of the Ramah, the Haggah in Sif Aleph, and we're going to continue and conclude the Sif. We're not going to be seeing Sif Beis. We're going to say up until that point. The three questions that Dirshu wants us to focus on for this Shiur is: when is the proper time to say Al Netilas Yadayim? Can one wash directly from the faucet, or do you need to use a kli for washing in the morning? And can Asher Yatzar be said in the morning if one did not go to sleep? And for that matter, what's the din if one didn't sleep? Do we have the ability to say Elokai Neshama? So we'll see that in the Biurim Umsafim in due time. So let's start off with the words of the Ramah. The Mechaber just told us you're supposed to wash your hands. He actually brought two reasons, the Rosh and the Rashba. So now the Ramah says like this: V'yesh oimrim gam asher yatzar. Also, when it comes to the bracha of asher yatzar, a person using the bathroom, yafilu asa srachav, even a person did not go to the bathroom. V'chein nahagu mayim hapsulim l'netilas yadayim l'suda. So it says the mayim which you're not allowed to use for a meal, which we'll see later on in Siman Kuf Samich in chapter 160. So interesting. So even though there's certain waters that cannot be used for washing your hands for a Suda, it is allowed when it comes to using that same water for Netilas Yadayim for the morning. Mihu yesh mishaymer deloy mavarach alayu. This water, which we'll see, is certain inferior waters because it's not on the high quality, so some say it wouldn't make a bracha. But at least you could do it, then perhaps fulfill your mitzvah of Al Netilas Yadayim. So, let's begin by looking at the Mishnah Berurah. On the bottom where it says Gimel, Gam asher yatzar tam mishum de b'boiker nasa kibir chadasha. Because in the morning, you're like a new person. You have to thank Hashem. Niskin bracha kind of shama, and we also are masakin this bracha on our neshama. Vasher yatzar al yitzir saguf. Hashem created the body. Ish od tamim acherim, and there are other reasons as well for the significance of reciting these brachos. Fine, because of prima gadim dolfia tam debir chadasha. According to that reason, what happens if you stayed up the entire night, which was the third question that I posed, Dirshu posed. You're not a new person. You don't feel like a fresh new person because you've been up all night. So according to them, according to this, you don't say the bracha. If you did not use the bathroom. Of course, if you use the bathroom, you always say asher yatzar. But if you were not asa srachav, so maybe if you're up all night, you don't say asher yatzar. Hishtin b'layla. If let's say you urinated at night, yochel lismach l'inyan berachas asher yatzar al asher yatzar d'shachris l'sarch in ladina. Okay. Gam pamim rabbis yikar shebabayker mishtaykek oid hapam l'hatalas meraglayim v'yochel lochel oid berachas asher yatzar b'bayker. Fine. So let's jump directly into Biurim Umusafin number 8. So according to the words of the Mishnah Berurah, it's pretty clear that if you don't need to use the bathroom, if you did use the bathroom, so it's okay. Obviously you say Asher Yatzim. If you didn't use the bathroom, so it says over here, then because you're not a Berich Hadasha, you can't say the bracha of Asher Yatzar. So he says like this: when it comes to washing your hands, if you're up all night, so we're going to learn later on, according to the Beis Yosef and the Taz, According to the Rashba, shechiv natil hu mishum shenasa berach hadasha, yesh litul avarich mishum shelo polig rabbanon. Even though it's true that maybe you'd say, well, you're not a berach hadasha, we say a little plug, and that we still have a chiv on natil shadayim. If you're up all night, you still do on natil shadayim. You may not necessarily do asher yatzar, as we said. And he quotes, Shabracha hi al chidesh ha'olam ve'im kein sarchavarach af kishlo nehena. Interesting. So the element is not necessarily you are berach hadasha. It's talking about the world and all the people in it. So therefore, it's shaykh that you could still say. However, when it comes to the kind of shama, mamisha hayanir kolai, if you're up all night, so we're going to say later on shelo yavarich, that you don't say al kind of shama. However, the Pri Megadim and the Shari Tshuva say that maybe it's a sarach ian. So we know b'derech klal, we are knowing that by al kain neshama, if someone else could say al kain neshama, if you were up all night, so you could listen to them and be yaitz. Okay, let's listen to what Dirshu says. As previously stated, a person is viewed as a berach hadasha, a new creation, upon arising. Therefore, the bracha of asher yatzar is said for the creation of the body, and al kain neshama is said for the renewal of the soul. Based on this idea, the Ramah rules that one may recite Asher Yatzar upon rising, even if he does not use the bathroom. A person who remains awake throughout the night is not considered Berach Hadasha and does not recite Asher Yatzar unless he tends to his needs. There is disagreement about whether one should recite Elokai Neshama in this situation. However, preferably one should ask to be included in the bracha of a person whose obligation is undisputed, which is what we generally do on Shavuos night. We wake up this one guy who slept on Shavuos, and he stands in front of everyone. He says these certain brachos, certainly Asher Yatzar, if it wasn't said. And again, if a person uses the bathroom, that's not a shaila. And then all kind of shama, and as well as other brachos as well. Brachos atayra. Okay, we'll talk about that another time. So let's continue in the Mishnah Berurah. Biafilu. So, when is the best time to say al netilas yadayim? So he says like this: V'haroitza l'stalik min hasafek. If you want to remove yourself from any shadow of a doubt, yizar laso srachav tekev achar she'eru mayim al yodav shlosh pamim. Then you should go to the bathroom right after you wash your hands, al netilas yadayim. And then when you leave the basic, he say yitul yidapam shniya b'yivarach asher yatzar. So then you wash your hands a second time and you say asher yatzar then. So you wash al netilas yadayim, go to the bathroom and you say asher yatzar after you wash. But toiv yoiser, interesting, it says it's even better. It's better you wash your hands, go to the bathroom, and then after you go to the bathroom, you can then say the bracha al netilas yadayim as well. Especially if you had to go to the bathroom right when you woke up very badly, so then you certainly shouldn't have said the bracha al netilas yadayim. You should wash your hands, go to the bathroom, and then you could wash again and say al netilas yadayim. Chai Adam writes, the nachal hamtin muvarach al netilas yadayim elu acher shemenaka atzma v'roitz l'spalo. You should again be completely clean and ready to daven, and again you could look over there for his reasoning. Fine. So he says that's also how the minhag hagra is the same. Okay. So when is the proper time to say al netilas yadayim? So the Achronim disagree when the bracha of al netilas yadayim should be recited. Some hold the bracha should be said immediately after washing, so that there will not be a hefsek between the washing and the bracha. Others hold that it should be recited along with the rest of the berachas hashachar once a person is preparing for davening. According to this view, the bracha does not need to be said right after washing. If a person arose well before shachar and needs to relieve himself again before davening, he should wash a second time, recite berachas hashachar, including al netilas yadayim, and then daven shacharis. Okay. Fine. Let's continue. Simin kuf samach tahanu mayim shnishhtanu marehen. If let's say the water doesn't have the same appearance, so nasmahem malacha, let's say work or something was done with this water. Oh, meluchim, a seruchim, it's salty or putrid. Shein hakelev yachal lishnos mehem. Not even a dog would drink it. Mishum hacharim l'tfila dekan lo yisarach rak mishum nikiyas ba'alma. So when it comes to food, so you don't want to drink, you don't want to wash your hands with that because you're about to eat. So that doesn't work for Suda. How this water is acceptable, fine. Deloy levarech, he says that you should maybe not say a bracha. Why? Ratzaloimer al netilos yadayim rak al nekiyos yadayim. Maybe you don't say al netilos yadayim, you say al nekiyos. Alay v'achronim hechriyu diyochel levarech al netilas yadayim. So actually, we possibly you should say al netilos yadayim, not al nekiyos yadayim. But again, it's questionable. Not necessarily certainly is not the best water to use. Okay, can one wash directly from the faucet? So l'chachila, washing in the morning is subject to the same stringencies as washing before a meal. Therefore, one should wash from a utensil with koyach gavra. Koyach gavra is manually, like a human force. The washing should be done at least a revius of clear, drinkable, for a dog, water. This water should not have been used previously for a different job. According to Shulchan Aruch, if the water does not fit this criteria, the text of the bracha should be changed to al nekiyas yadayim. Other poskim rule it should be al netilas yadayim, should be said under all circumstances. Again, that's seemingly the din that even if you use this water, perhaps you can still say the bracha of al netilas yadayim. Let's see if there's a question over here. Question 13. Is water which is invalid for washing to eat bread valid for washing in the morning, according to the Mishnah Berurah? Yes. And one says a bracha. It is better to use water that is valid for washing to eat bread. Some say that one says on the kiyos yadayim. The later poskim have ruled that one says the usual bracha of al netilas yadayim. Ad kan.